In this video, we will understand what are the various JSP scriptlet tags what we will be using in the JSP development. So for that, we will go ahead and create a JSP file. So in this JSP project what we have created, we'll go ahead and expand this web content folder. I'll right click on this web content folder and I'll say new and I'll say a JSP file. So you can even create a HTML file, but it is static. You cannot write any Java code in it. So to write that, you will be using your JSP file. So I'll click on this JSP file. I'll go ahead and I'll write my JSP file name. So I will say sample.jsp. So this is what I'll be writing, right? So you can go ahead and you can write any file name. You can just write demo or you can write first class or something like that. So this is sample.jsp and I'll press on finish. So I'll have a simple JSP code here loaded. So you can see this. Here I have simple JSP program, that is your HTML starter available. Now I'll go ahead and I'll change the title to JSP servlet development. Yes, and in body you can write anything. So you can write an h1 tag and you can say welcome. So it is exactly like your HTML, but the extra feature what you have is you can run it as a Java file also. So we'll be seeing that. So now that this is done, now I'll go ahead and I'll say right click, run and run on server. Then I'll press on this, I'll be say finish. Okay, so it runs on my Eclipse browser. So you see this, it gives welcome h1 tag and you can see JSP servlet development. Now sometimes you may worry that it is showing error here, but do not worry, it's just a warning and it won't give you any error. It's just a warning for this scriptlet what we are using annotation here. So you can see the output is shown here, right? So this is a simple HTML content what we have loaded in the browser. Now what is the use of servlet? Or what is the use of scriptlet what I said we'll be using in this video. So using scriptlet you can add Java code in your JSP. So how do you add? So there are three scriptlet tags in your JSP. So one is your normal scriptlet tag, another one is your expression tag, and the third one is your declaration tag. So the first one is the scriptlet tag. So how does a scriptlet start? So with your angular braces and percentage symbol. So this is how you create a scriptlet. So this is the basic syntax for creating your scriptlet. Now within this you can write any number of lines of code. So I'll say int of a is equals to 10 and then I will say if a is equals to 10, then I'll say out dot println and I'll say hey, a is 10. So you see this, now you can see how I'm writing Java code in my HTML file. So this is your JSP, that is Java server code. So now I'll go ahead and I will save this and I will restart the server. So I'll go ahead, I'll click on this, I'll press on stop and then I'll restart the server. So I'll click on sample.jsp, I'll say run on server. So it will start running on your Apache Tomcat server. So you see this, hey, the a is 10. So I have not written this anywhere in your p tag or using any other tags. You can see this. Have I used any other tags? No, right? But dynamically this content is created using your Java scriptlet. So this is your basic use of scriptlet tag where you can write n number of Java lines of code. So you can write functions, you can write programs for getting the data from other packages. So there are various things you can write in this scriptlet tag. So your scriptlet tag is the most general tag in which you can write multiple lines of Java program. So now the other tags as I explained is an expression tag. So when do you use an expression tag? As the name suggests, you use expression tag in order to print some expression, that is if you have to print some value. So this is a example for scriptlet tag. I'll go ahead and I will comment it here. This is an scriptlet tag. Now we will see example for your expression tag. So how does your expression tag works? It's very simple. All you have to do is, in order to display, first you have to use your scriptlet. Okay, in that, to make the scriptlet explicitly an expression tag, so you have to just add an equal to. So this is more like displaying some variable value. You see here, so I'll say equals to welcome to the course. So you see, any value or any variable you want to display. So here I write this again, I'll write my expression tag and I'll just say A. So why is it not giving an error? Because see here, I have declared a variable called A, right? So it will print this. So now if I go ahead and I run this on the server, so you see this, I get, hey, this is 10. Then I say, well, then I get welcome to the course. And then how I'm getting this 10 value? It is just that I'm displaying this variable. So why do we need an expression tag? So many a times it happens when you're getting data from your database and you have to display the dynamic content in your front end. So you'll be getting it and storing in some variables, right? In some objects. So you can go ahead and you can use this expression tag in order to display such variables or objects to get the data from those objects and variables. So we will be using this expression tag then. Next, we have the third tag, that is your declaration tag. We have declaration tag. So declaration tag, as the name suggests, it is used to declare variables. So if you're declaring variables or functions, then you have to use this tag. So how do you use a declaration tag? First you write your scriptlet tag and then you add an exclamation mark. So exclamation mark says this is a declaration tag. In this tag you can only do declarations, you can only assign values. Now if you try to write any other code, like printing like this welcome or something like that, it won't work, because the declaration tag only declares some functions or some variables. So only declaration will work here. You see here, so this is how you use declaration tag to create a variable, then to create functions or define a function. So you will go ahead and you will say here, you can define some functions, like I'll say, I'll create a cube function, or you can create a sum function where you can call it. So that is how you can do. So I'll say here int of sum, which is nothing but int of A, and I'll say int of B, and then I'll say opening brackets and I'm closing the brackets here, and within this I'll say return A plus B. So see here, I have created a function, right? I've declared a function within declaration tag, so I can anywhere go and call this. So now if I have to call the cube function, so I will use my expression tag, because expression tag is used to call variables, expressions and functions. So I'll say this is sum of two numbers, and then I'll say plus, I'll say sum of 5, 8. So you see this, how I can call a function in this expression tag, and how I have declared the function using the declaration tag. Now every time it runs in this Eclipse browser, right? If you want to use your browsers like Safari, or you want to use Chrome, or you have to use any other Mozilla Firefox, then you have to click on Windows, and then in Windows, see here, you have web browser, right? So you can click on internal web browser, that is your Eclipse browser, or you can click on default web browser, so that opens whichever is your default web browser. So now if I go ahead and if I right click and if I say run as, run on server, so you see it opens up your browser, and see here, you say welcome, you get, hey, this is 10, welcome to the course, then it's displaying A, and then you see the sum of two numbers is, and you get this 13, that is executing the function. So you see here, nowhere we have written HTML content except this h1 tag. Do you see anything HTML content? No, right? This all are Java contents that is being rendered and displayed in your HTML. So this is the use of JSP. So it is like your HTML, but more features like adding Java codes. So this is how you can use these features to make your web content more dynamic. So So hope you guys understood what JSP is and what are the scriptlets present in JSP.